Russia about the efficiency definition of processes. In Russia, especially about processes below ambient temperature. We came, by the way, to know these papers only after 1980, because they were written in Russian, and most of us couldn't read Russian. In 1956, Zoran Brandt, I think he was from Slovenia, but he worked in Germany. He coined the word Exergy. He gave an explanation for that because he wanted a word which was similar to energy. In German, energy is energy, but it was also something different. X means something that is brought out. This is what he meant when he wrote this little presentation about Exergy. In the 60s and 70s, the calculations about Exergy applications, there were few, very few, only in the US, Germany, and Russia. And the good thing is that the two parties didn't talk to each other, because when I say Germany, I'm talking about mostly East Germany. And at that time, East Germans talked to Russians, but didn't talk to West Germans. And US didn't talk, US scholars, I mean, they didn't talk to East Germans or Russians. So there was a little very little exchange of information between the two parties. In the 60s, Fratscher, Elsner, and Bayer in Germany, and Abramovich, Kalinina, and Boryansky in Russia, practically at the same time, they started working on a thing they called economic applications of Exergy. That is a translation of the German expression that they used. What they wanted to do is to apply Exergy to practical processes to find a better balance between the thermodynamic costs of products. Keep in mind that these guys were living in a non-capitalistic society, so their thermoeconomic was something different from what Professor Zazaros showed. Labor was considered a fixed term because it was free, everybody was paid by the state, and there was no interest because the capital investment was made by the state. So it's an odd kind of thermoeconomics, but still the concept was there. In '61, we had the first appearance of the word thermoeconomics, Myron Tribus, MIT. He coined the word thermoeconomics in his course, one of his courses at MIT. And in the following years, he, El Sayed, and Evans, who were at that time his assistants, published a series of systematic studies about application of thermoeconomics to cogenerating plants and to cogenerating desalination. I have to say, in all fairness, that for all I know, most of the work, the original idea was for Tribus, but most of the work was done by Evans and El Sayed, and Tribus was not particularly fair to them. I think Ozer agrees with me, to an extent that both left MIT and went somewhere else. And Tribus didn't write anything else on Exergy or thermoeconomics, and they did. Okay, close parentheses. This is academic life, kids. Get used to it. Not many people cared about these ideas. There were very few, there was no reaction to these few papers which were published. In the 80s, Professor Gajoli and Professor Arnas, Professor Gajoli was then at the Catholic University of America, where I was a young assistant professor. He was my dean. We didn't know each other. At one meeting of ASME, Arnas and Gajoli organized this group which decided to call ourselves Advanced Energy System, with a little arrogant name. And we started meeting regularly ever since. I think the first meeting was 1984. At least that was the first meeting I was at. I mean, people who were there, Moran for sure, Tsatsaronis for sure, Evans for sure, and Sayed. Arnas was of course there. I'm not sure about Adrian Bejan, but I think either then or in '85 he was there. Came late, '85. Then Reichstadt, who was working with Gaccioli, and Dominic Sama were there. I was there, of course, too. And since I was the youngest guy, these guys still treat me like a small kid. They ask, "Hi, how are you? How are your girlfriends?" I've been married 3 times now. So, however, I'm the young guy of this group. Imagine how old the others So, this group started meeting regularly. And I have to say, both Anas and Gaccioli, they accepted a great push. We started writing papers, we started having our own sessions at the UOIT conference, and the first papers dealt with system analysis, coordination plans, desalination, heat exchanger networks, this kind of things. And we already started fighting about the name. Gaccioli, Moran, and Reichstadt, they insisted for available energy. We Europeans pushed for Exergy, and others said, "I don't care, as long as you get your site convention correct, I don't care."
I still say the same thing.
And you already said it at that time.
Yes.
Yeah. So you are consistent. So later, other people joined the group. These names are all names which you have encountered in your career. Frankopoulos from Spakowski, now Virginia Tech, Frankopoulos in Netherlands, Valera in Saragossa, economics. Geskin, he was in New Jersey, I think he retired. Beckfer, Kodas, who wrote a book, Sharwood, wrote a book. We started publishing papers, not together, I mean, all of us started publishing papers in ASME journals. But still, not many people cared. Our papers were attacked when we were at the meetings. There was normally the reaction was we presented the paper, Exergy analysis. A guy stood up from the back and said, "Why do you do Exergy analysis? I can obtain the same results with energy analysis," or the most advanced guys, they said, "I can obtain the same results if I perform an energy analysis and then an entropy analysis." And our answer at the beginning was nice, like, yes, of course, but Exergy includes energy and entropy. And then we got upset. The more powerful we got, we said, "Shut up and read our papers," and so on. In '87, that was a good year. Göran Wall from Sweden, he joined